We're looking at the most famous painting in the world right now, the Mona Lisa. But for centuries, no one has been able to give a definitive explanation for this smile. Is it an optical illusion, a hidden message, or the reflection of a real emotion? In recent years, a new interpretation has emerged that takes this question to an entirely different place. And while this interpretation remains debated among art historians, it has deeply moved millions of people. Because according to this interpretation, Mona Lisa's smile is not a smile of joy, it's half joy. Or perhaps it's full joy and full grief, all at the same time. American writer Glennon Doyle was standing in front of this painting at the Louvre Museum when a woman approached her. The woman shared a theory with her. Doyle recounts this theory in her best-selling book, Untamed. Mona Lisa and her husband lost a baby. Sometime later, her husband commissioned this painting from Da Vinci to celebrate the birth of another baby. Mona Lisa sat for Leonardo to paint her, but she wouldn't smile during the sitting. Not all the way. The story goes that Da Vinci wanted her to smile wider, but she refused. She did not want the joy she felt for her new baby to erase the pain she felt from losing the one prior. This is not a proven fact, but it's a powerful interpretation. Now let's look at the evidence behind this interpretation. Leonardo's model was most likely Lisa Gherardini, the wife of a wealthy Florentine cloth merchant. Known in Italian as La Gioconda, this word means joyful. But is there pure joy on this woman's face, or something else entirely? When we look at historical records, we see this. Lisa Gherardini gave birth to 6 children. 2 of them, a daughter named Piera and a son named Giocondo, died before their second birthdays. Infant mortality was common in the 16th century. But for a mother, this is a pain that never changes. So was this painting really made after a loss? In 2006, scientists from the National Research Council of Canada conducted laser and infrared scans on the Mona Lisa. Beneath the darkened paint and varnish, they discovered a detail. Lisa was wearing a thin gauze veil. This garment, called a guarnello, was worn in the 16th century by pregnant women or those who had recently given birth. Art historians believe Leonardo painted this work sometime between 1503 and 1519. This time frame aligns with Lisa's obstetric chronology. For this reason, some researchers suggest that this portrait may have been painted following a birth, but perhaps a birth that came after a loss. Now let's look at that smile again. The technique Leonardo used in this painting is called Sfumato. There are no sharp lines in this technique. Everything is soft, hazy, indefinite. The corners of the lips are slightly curved, but we can't quite see where they end. The eyes look at us, but we can't guess what she's thinking. Leonardo developed this technique over many years. In Italian, the word sfumato means smoke-like. Instead of applying paint in visible strokes, he built the image layer by layer using extremely thin glazes. In some areas, researchers have identified nearly 30 separate layers of paint, each one almost invisible on its own. The result is a surface where transitions between tones are so smooth that the eye can no longer detect a clear line, and it's this softness that makes the smile feel even more elusive. When you look at it directly, the smile seems to be there. But when your gaze shifts slightly, it changes, because our peripheral vision reads light and shadow differently. And Leonardo understood this better than anyone. This ambiguity is Leonardo's deliberate choice. But why? Perhaps because life itself is like this. You're not completely happy, not completely sad. You're somewhere in between. You carry 2 emotions at the same time. We have no document showing that Leonardo told Lisa to smile more, or that Lisa refused. But when we look at the painting, we get the feeling that the artist wanted more, while the model maintained a certain distance, as if Lisa is saying, I will smile, but on my own terms. I don't want to forget the child I lost. I love my new baby, but my old pain is still here. I will carry both. Of course, this is an interpretation, but it's a powerful interpretation, because this interpretation gives voice to millions of women silenced throughout history. Throughout history, countless women have lost babies, but most of their stories were never recorded. Their grief remained in the darkness of history. In the 16th century, women were expected to move on quickly from loss, to smile again, to be grateful for the next child. But grief doesn't work that way. If this interpretation is correct, Lisa Gherardini's grief was immortalized in the world's most famous painting. The Renaissance means rebirth, a cultural awakening that came after the Dark Ages. Artists focused on realism, on humanity. In this portrait, Leonardo da Vinci may have painted a real woman with all her layers, with her pain, with her joy, with both intertwined. In Glennon Doyle's commentary, she writes, Mona Lisa is saying for us, don't tell me to smile. I will not be pleasant. Even trapped here, inside 2 dimensions, you will see the truth. You will see my life's brutal and beautiful right here on my face, and the world will not be able to stop staring. Mona Lisa's face seems to carry this duality. Leonardo da Vinci died 500 years ago, but this woman's face is still speaking, still telling us something. Perhaps this is what art is, capturing real life with all its contradictions, brutal and beautiful, bitter and sweet, all together. Some believe this interpretation is correct, others disagree. But one thing is certain, Mona Lisa's smile has kept people thinking for 500 years. And perhaps that's the most powerful thing a work of art can do.